What's up, everybody? This is your host, Mike, as usual, and welcome to another session of the Let's Talk Show by Interlingua. Today, we are going to make a little bit of flashback thinking. Why? Because I think we're going to cover a topic that we have all faced. Well, actually, we're talking about a question. What if? What if you have done this? What if you hadn't done this? What if you had gone to this place? What if you hadn't gone to this place? Of course, I'm trying to cover this with a big picture, mostly about life decisions. For example, what got me here is that I decided to move to Mexico City to look for a better quality of life since I am from elsewhere, from Guerrero to be precise. And I can't stop thinking what would have happened if I had stayed there. Probably my life wouldn't have been at all as it is today. If you want, in the comments, you can share with us your testimony. But today, we have also two guests that would be more than happy to share with us some events in their lives. And I'm talking about Jordi and I'm talking about Maripa. So let's bring them out.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome
Hello.
back. Hello, guys. Welcome back, and thank you so much for being here again. Alrighty. This question is very common for everyone because I think we have all faced this question at not only one but at several points in our lives when we talk about regrets, when we think about what might have happened if we have done certain things or if we hadn't. But let's break it down a little bit easier for now because I have this word very fresh in my head, and these are regrets. Guys, do you hold some regrets about your life choices today? Maribas. Pow.
Honestly, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think everything in your life happens for a reason, or maybe that's a good way of looking at your life in retrospective. Some things that you can't change. I don't believe that much in that butterfly effect. What's the difference between eating cereal and oatmeal in the morning, and it changes your whole life? I don't see it. And everything that you have done takes you to where you are. If you're happy where you are, no regrets.
Okay. So you do feel happy nowadays.
Yes, yes, I like
All
my life.
right. That's nice. That's nice. And what about you, Jordi?
I don't know. It's a big question. The thing is, when you think about it, if it weren't because of the choices you made, you wouldn't be here today. So if you regret those choices, it's like, so you don't really like where you're standing right now. And that is like, so I wouldn't say I regret things about my life or decisions I made, but of course there are some times that I find myself thinking, what would have happened if I had done this other thing, or things like that. But like a real regret, nah, I don't think so.
Okay, so regrets are off the table. I'm glad to hear that. I really am. Thank you. And it makes me feel bad about me because I do have some. Oh man, but that's me. That's me. That's me. I'm really glad that you guys don't have. So now I want to do something like an exercise or something like an activity, for so to speak. And this just came into my mind because yesterday, let me put you a little bit into context so you can follow me with this thing. Yesterday, I watched the finale of a series that I like very much, Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah,
If you've heard exactly,
yeah.
yes, you have heard it. Yesterday it finished. C'est la vie, hasta la vista, baby. It was done. But a topic that came out in that episode in particular was the question, metaphorically speaking, of course, if you had a time machine, when and where would you come back, and would you do something different? Two separate questions that can lead to many things, to many conclusions. So let me break it down to you, piece by piece. Maripaz, same question, same situation. If you had a time machine, would you go back to a specific place in the past? And which one?
Okay. That's interesting. I think I would come back to when I made my decision about the major I decided on, what I wanted to major in, and I would have gone for something different. Maybe for some type of graphic design, industrial design, something like that. But when I was younger, I was on a very different mindset, totally. So if I go back to my 18-year-old self, I know I would have been stubborn and saying, "No, I love books. I want to study literature, mom. No, you don't understand me." That's the type of mindset I was in, totally. So yes, if I have known what I know now and about the workplace and all those things, I would have understood everything different. And I would have considered um, different things I would have done that back then. But you see, when I think about it, I would have missed on the experience, on meeting some of my best friends, on all the places I went, on all the long talks. And I think maybe my life would have been very stressful. I couldn't have handled it. Who knows? That's the big issue.
Really?
You never know what would have happened. Mm.
What makes you think that would have happened? That outcome?
Because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and
Oh,
like when my teachers told me, this is what you have to do, this is you have to read this book and that's it for the month, like just write a paper on that book. I was like, so do I have to do something else? I'm going to read like 5 books and then see what comes out of my mind when I'm going to read everything by this author. I'm too much. So yes, I think I would have gone crazy. And with some of these other majors, sometimes they are expensive. So that might have made it difficult because I was on my own back then. I had to support myself. I had to do everything myself, basically. I was living with my boyfriend back then, and I think life would have been harder. So I like the path I went through in the end.
could you picture yourself if you hadn't moved with your boyfriend back then? That maybe if you would have stayed at your family's place?
And that would have been a big change also. I would have had the opportunity to spend more time with my sister, and maybe I would have gone to a different school, to another college. You know, the faculty has a reputation. Not everyone likes philosophy, the philosophy place, and I don't know if that will ever change that much. What else? I think I would be a completely different person.
What do you mean? In a negative or positive way, if may I ask?
Like, I think the path I was going, like, maybe I would be I wouldn't be humble. I think some experiences make you humble. You understand what's important in life and that everything takes hard work. Everything takes hard work. Even if you sweep the streets for a living, if you work at a convenience store, everything is hard and has value. And I didn't get it when I was younger. Maybe I would have never understood it in my life if I would have if I had gone down that path. What else? I think I would be different, probably.
What did you major in the end?
In Hispanic literature.
Hispanic literature. And you say that you want a graphic design, or what else did you mention?
Yes, I had so many choices because back then I also wanted to study medicine, and my
Oh.
aunt is a doctor, so she took me to the hospital. She
Mhm.
actually worked in the emergency room, so that was something. She told me, well, she gave me my coat and said, "Now go ahead and do what the nurses tell you to do." And I literally put stitches on someone's head. I also
Wow.
put an IV on someone those days. I saw so many cases. It was very interesting. Um, but in the end, I decided that was not my thing.
Okay.
It was nice. It's a safe decision. I think studying medicine is something that will give you a job pretty easily. But I don't know. It was not for me. In the end, I decided something else.
And let's see, in the with over time, have you tried to, like, I don't know, learn something about the other choices that you had, maybe with a workshop, or maybe something outside, like some classes about the other things that you wanted to study at that time?
Yes, I thought about it long and hard. Um, we might consider this, right? When you're in at night, lying in bed, you think about these things. And at some point, I wanted to study some handicrafts major that they
Hmm.
offer. I believe I even went to see the school, see what they offered, and it was a 4 years thing, something like that. I didn't have the time to do it or like, the energy or all that. So I took some courses with friends or with some teachers who were very nice, and I learned engraving. Then I also learned how to do this papier mache thing, the cartoneria, and I liked it very much. Um, I don't know if I would make a living out of something else because I've considered lately going to Monterrey for some weeks because my father, between a lot of things, he's a woodworker and he could teach me some things. And he's decided to go back into the business. It's very cool, actually. He made guitars for a while, and then
I
he stopped. He had to get like a serious office job, but he
uh,
really loves it.
could you imagine how his life would be if he had continued making guitars and maybe making it big? I don't know.
And that's the issue that sometimes I think we see a lot of ourselves in our
Hmm.
family members. For me, that's my father a lot because he did everything in his lifetime. He was a mechanic. He made bread for a while. He was making stuffed animals also for a while. He really liked it. He was good. I think I still have a Smurf that he made. And
Oh,
in the end, he's like, "Okay, I have to take this office job because I I want to have insurance." I need to pay my bills. Uh, that happened to him, but I think he will go back to some of the things he loves when he retires too, and that's great.
Mhm. All right. It's nice to hear that, Maripaz. What about you, Jordi? At what point in your personal timeline would you go back if you had the time, if you had the chance or the ability?
Ooh. Okay, that's a super easy question. But first, I mean, I would do that only if I knew that I can come back to where I am right now. Like if I can only go back there just to like uh, experience again those moments, but that's it. And that
Oh,
would be going back to my high school years.
going back to your high school
Yes, of
years.
course. High school was the best thing.
And you would only go back there to relive it,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
revisit it. Oh,
yeah,
so you need the animus.
yeah.
You
Pretty
you know
much.
as a,
Yes, of course.
for those of you who has the face like, what did he say? It's a reference to Assassin's Creed, a very cool video game that in which
Oh,
the lead character connects himself to the animus, and thanks through that, he can relive the storyline of his ancestors, which were pretty much assassins. And thanks for you. And after that moment, let's go back to the show.
yes.
Okay, Jordi. So, what do your high school days have that you treasure so much?
uh, it was really, really, really fun. I mean, I had this thing of getting good grades and whatnot, but I also had a chance to spend some time with my friends. Um, I wasn't really worried about relationships or whatever. It was only like school, my friends, um, getting as many laughs as we could, and that was it. Just to have a good time, I think. And I'm going to sound like really old, but I think life was way more simple back
I feel you, man. I feel
then.
you, man. I feel you, man. I understand exactly what you mean, and I agree with that. Oof. But as I'm understanding,
Hmm.
yes, it was fun. Today, maybe it's not as much fun as it was, but you are completely, well, that's up to you to say, but you are okay with the place that you are right now in your life. Is that what I'm getting?
Hmm. Yes, of course.
All right. And what about when you were even younger? Would you like
Younger.
to relive some of your childhood moments?
Mm, Not really. I mean, I don't think it's maybe it's going to sound horrible, but I don't remember a lot of good things about my childhood. Not because they didn't happen.
Yeah.
I just don't remember. Um,
Okay. 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 Okay.
because when you are like younger, like you get like maybe more pressure from your parents to get good grades or actually good grades, and so no, I I don't think I would go to other stages of my life or earlier
First-
stages.
All right. I guess that's cool. I hope. I hope it. All right, guys. Now I want to cover something.
Mhm.
Now let's talk about other people. But what do I mean by this? What do I mean by this? Over time, over time, and I think this happens to everyone, there are certain people. that whether we want it or not, they tend to like go separate ways from us. The reasons are very different. It depends of the situations, it depends from the people themselves. But and I'm sorry if this is getting too personal. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, but is there a person in your life that is not that you don't talk or see anymore that you probably would like to still be around you? Maripas.
Yes, yes, I think that's happened to all of us, and sometimes we don't even know what happened. No, w- when did it start? Why did we just fall apart? It's a hard question because of that. No, what would I have done differently? No, to make the relationships work. For me, that happened with my friends a lot. And I believe even for a while I was mad because many of my friends have children. I know it sounds very absurd now, but people change a lot. Um, they start making a family, and suddenly they're going to church on Sundays and then going to the park with their children. And you don't see them because you don't even fit in that lifestyle. You don't want to do the things they are doing. You don't want to go to a children's party. I don't want to hear about I don't know, like educational programs for 2 year olds and milk and different formulas, and it is a complete different world, and I've never wanted that for myself. But I think that was very selfish of me. I I think that was what they wanted in life. I can't change other people. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
yes. Now I
most
get
of
it.
us make the decisions and say, "Oh, I wish we could spend time together forever and go to the movies and go to
Yeah.
parties and do the same things over and over," because that's what I want. But that's definitely not what they wanted. People change. That happened with I have a best friend and I see her maybe twice a year now. But we
Um,
did a lot of things together before. Like we went running in the morning, like maybe 2 days a week, and we used to have a routine. Now then, after that, we had breakfast, and maybe later we went shopping. And I saw her all the time. Now we talked on the phone a lot, so we knew everything about each other, and that has happened to a lot of friends. The problem is they also moved out of state, but I also see that, for example, this friend Rosa, who is now living in another state in Leon, she's very happy. She loves her kid. She takes him to school, to soccer practice, and she cooks for him. Like she's a nutritionist and she's very passionate about it, and she will change a little bit of that dynamic when her child is older. Now she wants to get back to nutrition, and she wants to do more stuff. Maybe we will see each other more when that happens, but I can also see that she's happy and that's what she loves. I want to visit her too when I can. It's really hard.
I understand. And could you imagine your life nowadays if you had formed a family a couple of years ago or several years ago, maybe?
Like, oh my god.
You don't see yourself at all.
No, I think about it and it's like the like a sitcom, like
Like
with no,
WandaVision.
yeah, exactly. That is how I would feel. Like Wanda with this perfect house and the perfect kids and saying, "No, don't take that away from me." And I'm like, what's the appeal? I don't get it. I think also that my life would have gone this way because when you sometimes are bored and you stalk your exes. I've stalked some of my exes online,
Not
and
real. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Of course I
come on,
have. Yeah, of course I have.
work with me. Yeah, obviously we all
Yeah.
do that. No? So many of them went that path, and that was what they wanted. Also, like you see them, and they have 2 or 3 kids, and they are living the life and taking pictures where they all have this white clothes and they are in a garden, that type of thing. They Some of
Yeah.
them wanted that, but that was never my dream, you know.
Okay. Well, well, best of luck for those people. You know, what's next to do? What about, what about you, Jordi? Is there a, let me go back to the question. Is there a person that you went separate ways with? Maybe someone you were in a relationship with, someone that you were friends with, or hell, even family that you probably wish she or he still be around?
Okay.
Oh,
At first, I thought no, because to be honest, I'm like kind of very detached from people. So
okay.
when you mentioned that thing about stalking the exes and whatnot, let me tell you, I have never done that because I'm like, okay, you were part of my life, and
Oh,
guess what? You
okay.
decided not to be anymore. Okay, perfect. You completely disappear. So
Oh,
I never really had that
I'm like,
issue,
oh,
and it even happened with friends. Like
Yeah.
for whatever reason, we or our paths went in different directions, and we just lost communication, and then I'm like, okay, well, that happens. That's life, right? But then I thought about something, and this is going to be like the sad moment of the show. There is a person, and that person is my godfather. Um, and that is basically because he passed away. Huh.
Okay.
And well, at this point that I am like, I don't know, maybe I have like a different perspective. I wish we had had more time together, or maybe that I had been like maybe more open or
Okay.
willing to reinforce the relationship. But yeah, if I had to choose one person, it would or that would be him. Yeah.
You think you would be, and please don't take this the wrong way because
Hmm.
I don't mean it like that.
Yeah, of
But
course.
would would you think you would become like a better version of you, or you would improve yourself as a person?
I think that if I had like if I had been there, I
Hmm.
wouldn't have made many mistakes. I think
Oh,
he would have remained as he always was, a good influence and the voice of reason. So yeah.
okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that, man. And I'm sorry if I was out of line. I don't know. I
It's okay.
mean,
It's okay. It's okay.
okay. Okay, 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 okay. Guys, now let's go into Gossip Girl territory. Why? Because we are still going to talk about other people. But what I
Okay.
really want you to know, what I really want to know is that, do you know a person in your circle of friends or even in your family that really, really, really wishes she or he would have done something different with his or her life. Let me put you an example. I have this friend. Back to where I come from. I come from Acapulco. She is a very smart woman, very capable, very hardworking, and well, I mean, I'm not criticizing. Please don't take this. I'm just telling you what happened. She was very promising when we were in the university, and everybody thought she was going to be like, maybe have a great job, maybe work for a politician as well. I don't know, something big. But she became deeply in love with her boyfriend back then. They eventually lived together, and now they formed a family. And everything is going well. Everything is going cool. But at one conversation that I had with her a while ago, she shared that maybe just maybe she made that decision a little bit too soon. I mean, there's nothing that she can actually do about it right now. I mean, she's covering all her duties. She's raising her kids and everything, but she couldn't stop thinking at that moment how her life would have been if she would have focused on her for at least following 5 years. Do you know someone like that? Do you know someone that nowadays is thinking what would have happened if she or he had made a different life decision? Maripaz.
Mm, yes, I have. As you know, I am into stalking people now. I'm very surprised that Jordi doesn't do it. I'm just like, oh my god. You have to teach me how to do it.
Jordi, give me some of
Yeah,
your strength,
for
bro.
It's
sure.
I need
amazing.
it.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I'm like,
It's a,
Ah,
takes a lot of willpower. I'm like, oh, how would we? Wow. Oh yeah, I am blown away by that.
you're the man.
That's
You're the
awesome.
man.
thank you.
But I think, yes, as you're saying, many of these decisions sometimes come from not putting yourself first. So I will talk about someone, and I won't say their name. Let's say a family member
Sure.
was very, very much a mess. And I think he was putting himself first, but what he wanted was to party and do nothing, not much. No, I feel he was a little bit lost and also making bad decisions that could affect him in the future. And that is one of the cases where um, having a baby was very life changing for him, because then providing for her became everything. And he went to some retreats to get better. He got help. He asked for help. He put his life together. And also, like um, the mother, or in that back then, his partner, were trying to make it work. They
Okay.
tried to stay together and it didn't work. But anyway, it really changed him, and it gave him also like a companion for life, because now he goes to many places with his daughter. Like they go together
Uh,
to concerts or to events. Now she's all grown up, and he changed for the best. So I think that was something that works for him. It doesn't work for many people. No, they feel
I,
forced to do things and they get angry over time. But I feel he had the support he needed from us, and I feel he's really happy now, and I'm really proud of him.
so you could say that he becoming a family man actually was an improvement for his life.
Yeah, because he's even started taking care of himself. He started getting better care. He started going to the gym and things like that because he started thinking, well, I have to live for a while. I have to take care of someone. I'm not alone. Now that gives you some perspective. And he
It
even
does.
learned how to cook. He didn't know how to make an egg or something, and then he changed for the best. But it depends on how you look at life. Now you can look at it as an opportunity, or you can look at it as a burden over you. Huh?
With all due respect, how do you think his life would have been if he hadn't had that child?
You know, I feel he might not even be alive. He's one of those people who are
Wow.
very reckless. He's someone I love partying with because he's really fun. He's really charming. That's something he does. I've told him he should be like a like an entertainer or like a party host, something like that. Um, but also he does some dangerous things like drinking and driving. He engages in that type of thing. He
Okay.
drives really fast sometimes, so maybe he wouldn't be with us now. We would have
Okay.
lost him forever.
Well, as you said, Maripas, things happen for a reason, so I think he's on the right track right now. And that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
And thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Again, it's with all due respect. Okay.
yeah, thank
What about you, Jordi? Do you know someone like that? Someone that who wishes his life or her life would have been different?
Mm, I think this time, nah. I couldn't think of anyone that has ever told me or that I know wish their life were different. So nah. I mean, maybe they think about it, but they've never told me.
Oh, okay. That's a whole different story.
Yeah,
Wow. All right. All right. All right. I sincerely hope everyone you know it's 100% happy with their decisions,
yeah, me too.
or at least at peace. You know, that's
Yeah,
what I wish anyone. That's what I wish anyone. This could be a whole different world if everyone were at peace with themselves. A whole different. But
totally.
now let's go back to you. Yes, you two guys.
okay.
There is actually, I'm going to like,
Come on.
I'm going to be a copycat in this question because it reminds me of another show that I watch online, and it's called El Minuto que Cambió Mi Destino, the minute that changed my destiny. And I think this is perfect for this occasion because what I want you to remember, if you can, of course. I mean, I would understand if you don't. Don't worry. But what I want you to remember is the decisive point
Oh,
in your lives that triggered the chain of events that got you to where you are right now. Jordi.
okay. Okay. Yeah. That one is super easy. Okay. In my
Okay.
case, that pivotal point was precisely when I finished high school, and you had to choose, or you have to choose what you want to major in. And I remember that when I finished high school, I was really sure I wanted to major in music because, well, my parents, I mean, when I was a child, my parents were like, take keyboard lessons and take singing lessons and whatnot. But what they never expected was that I was really, really going to like music. So when I told them, Mom, Dad, I want to major in music, you can imagine what they said. They were like, no way, that's not going to happen. And then I was like, I mean, why not? I mean, you told me that whatever I wanted to do, it was fine, and now you're telling me this. And then they were like, no, music, no. And they told me, if you want to major in something serious and then taking music as a backup plan, then maybe. And then I was like, okay. But then I had no idea, or I didn't have like a clear idea about what I wanted, like something serious, as they said. So I was like, what do I like? And the thing is, or was, that is, because that's still the problem, I like a lot of things. And then I was like, okay, I would like to major in psychology, but I would also like to major in computer science, but I would like to major in philosophy. And then my mother was like, no, philosophy, no, you're going to end up depressed and you'll become a junkie. And then I was like, Mom, I'm already depressed. What's the worst thing that can happen? But she said philosophy, no. So in the end, I decided to major in math. So I enrolled, and I decided, or I went for math because in high school I was like the best in math, right? Like calculus, it was like, yeah, give me like 50
Piece
exercises,
of
yeah, no
cake.
problem, yeah. And then I was, yeah, I mean, if I go for math, it's going to be super easy. Man, I was wrong. And I remember that I got there, and I swear I didn't stay. I mean, I stayed there for like 3 months, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is too much. And I left. Um,
Yeah.
I just left. I didn't even do the right procedure and whatnot. I just left. But some months later, I like reflected on my situation, and I was like, okay, I got there. I have that spot at school. I have to do something with that. And then I went back to school, and and at first things went smoothly. I didn't get like the perfect grades, but I was doing fine. But my point is, and it was at that time that I returned to university that one of my teachers, an English teacher actually, suggested, or he asked me, uh, "You have never considered teaching?" And I was like, "Nope." And he was like, "You should give it a try. I mean, you are quite good at it." And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And I remember he even told me, "You know what? Finish the course, get your certificate, get your teaching certificate, or whatever you want to take next. And when you have them, come find me, and here you have a spot." And I was like, "Okay." Um, but I mean, I'm talking about this because that was the thing that made me in the end become a teacher, and because I am a teacher, I am here today. So that's why I chose that specific point. Like if I hadn't listened to my parents, and I had said, you know what, I'm going to roll into music, and I don't care about what you think, most likely I wouldn't be here.
Where
And
do you think you would be?
Oy, um, I think that if I had majored in music, I
Hmm.
would be still in my. I mean, I still live in my hometown, but and I would still be here, or I would still live here, and I would work at a local music school or something like that. I would be
Okay.
giving like private lessons, but that would be pretty much it.
So you would still be teaching.
Yeah, in the end, I would have ended up teaching. Yeah, so I suppose that's my thing. Like no, no matter the subject, I suppose my thing is teaching.
How, however, as I understand,
Hmm.
well, you became. I mean, you are a musician
Yeah,
practically.
yeah.
Have you tried to like give it a go into maybe teaching the instrument that you specialize yourself in? Do you think you
Mm,
have enough knowledge to actually pass that ability to some students?
I have thought about it, but I
Hmm.
have never done it because I was like an empirical learner. Like I only learned what
Sure.
I needed to learn. So if
Okay.
when it comes to theory or maybe the appropriate technique, I am not the best reference. I have to admit that.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
if I try to sell myself as a good or a decent teacher, that's not going
Yeah.
to work because I would be lying to people.
May I ask what was the instrument that you learned empirically?
All of them, all the
All of
instruments
them.
I play, I learned empirically.
Which are?
The keyboard, the guitar, the bass, the ukulele, and the violin.
No.
Oh, the ukulele.
Hmm.
That's a very relaxing instrument.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah, man. Okay, okay. Well, that was very interesting, Jordan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What about you, Maripas? Do you remember the decisive point in your life in which led you to where you are right now? Oh yeah.
Oh, oh no, many things have happened for me to be here right now.
Okay.
Um, for a while, I don't know if you know this, but my family lives in Monterrey, and they took me with them when I was maybe 21, I think. So I worked there for a year. They were I could not continue with my major at the university there, so I worked for a while, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I didn't like the other campus. I didn't like the program. I didn't like many things about.
Anything.
I'm like, the only funny thing is when people ask me if I'm from Monterrey, and I tell them, yeah, totally, and I put on my my sombrero. it's
Yeah.
it's it's the only thing that I kind of like. It's funny. But I think that changed me completely. It gave me more time to think what I wanted to do in my life. I didn't want to do research. I kind of
Hmm.
knew that. I tried to do some job in editorial houses, thought about it, tried it. I also was teaching classes for a while, and I liked it, but it was not like it was not enough, I guess. Or I would do it in my free time, maybe. And it was very casual. Like I remember one of my friends started working as an interpreter, and she told me, "Oh, you should try it. It's like this, and this is the process, and blah blah blah." I also stopped seeing her for a while, and later on, I remembered, and I started working where I am, and I really like it, and I
Uh-huh.
think I want to do more of it, do more translation, do more things like that. But yeah, there are many things that brought me here. I feel many things has to happen and for you to be
Okay.
where you are.
Uh, is there one of those things that if you have um, done a different thing, it would have led you to maybe uh, not too very pleasant outcome that maybe things would have fallen apart? Was that a risk at some point? during those changes?
Maybe. Yes, I thought about staying because it was safe. I mean, I was at home with my family back in the north of the country. The weather is awful. It's crazy. You go out on the street and you're sweating. You're disgusting all the time. It's awful.
Disgust.
Like you're all the time like, I was not used to, to that at all. And then in the winter, I remember that I put on um everything I had, and I also put every piece of clothes that I could put on myself, like all of the bedding I could, and I was still cold. Yes, I was still cold. It's awful.
Damn.
Um,
Okay.
yes, we had to wait for a while until we could get the proper heating. It was a new home, so we had to get it working. And I think if I had stayed, I wouldn't have done a lot of things, and it was hard. I feel like you start living by yourself, and you do it horribly, and everything is hard. Like paying the bills is hard. Um, so for a while, I lived with a cousin here, and then I lived with my aunt. I lived with many people. It was also hard, because I felt like a gypsy. I didn't have a steady home, and
Oh.
e- eventually, I lived alone, and uh, it it was also hard. You know what? I think I also wish I had talked to Eric before, because we knew each other, but we had never really spoken. We only saw each other at passing. He was teaching in the
Wow.
morning, and I was in the evening shift. And maybe if we had met before, everything would have worked out before. It would have been good. I don't know. Or
Well,
maybe the timing was perfect. I don't know. Like,
well, shout out to my man Eric. Hey, man. Nice compliments around here. And thank you so much for sharing that, Maripaz. What about you, Jordi? Do you think at some point there was there was something that if you did differently, it would have gotten you in a very bad path, or maybe something that you would have regretted?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, I enrolled into math for college, but I have to admit I didn't finish the major. I left like halfway through. I
Okay.
mean, I got in, I left, I went back, then everything went fine for a while until it didn't. And then it was like so much pressure. I was so stressed and frustrated and whatnot. And I'm going to be like real honest here. I think that if I had stayed um, studying that because of or only out of stubbornness, most
Yeah.
likely I wouldn't be here. I mean, I'm pretty sure I would have like overdosed or something like that. I mean, if I had stayed there. I mean, yeah. So like, phew, no.
You made the right call.
I would like to think so. No, I mean, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah. I mean, in the end, I left that environment that was not good. I'm not saying that it's not good. It wasn't good for me. And because of the other choices I made, now I am fine. I mean, as you said, it's maybe not about being happy, but being at peace. And I think at this point, my life is peaceful and everything is fine. I mean, if I hadn't been for those things and those important decisions, I
Sure.
wouldn't have become a teacher. And if I hadn't become a teacher, I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't be a
Oh,
father now. So I mean, everything. I think that all the good things in my life
yeah.
happened because of the choice I made of becoming a teacher.
hmm.
That was a very good way to close your turn, man.
Ah, Thank you.
I'm touched. I'm touched. Thank you so much because it really made me think. Made me think of the things that I've chosen myself. And you guys actually made me feel a lot better because sometimes you're not having precisely the best of days, and you're like, oh my god, what am I doing, or what have I done? What did I do this? But fortunately, today it's not the case, and I thank you guys. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for participating here today, for taking time from your time to be here with us. I hope to see you soon again
Of course.
through the Let's Talk show. And of course, we'll be in touch. Thank you so much and
Thank
have
you,
a
Mari.
nice evening. No, thank you, my friend. Thank you, Maripaz. And
Too.
thanks to all of our viewers who tuned in. And also be sure to also share the link and to be in touch with us for more of the Let's Talk show. I am Mike. We had Jordi and we had Maripaz. Eric Rios was in the controls. And I must bid you adieu. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night. Bye.